There is a number that the American auto industry does not want you to calculate. The average new truck in America costs $82,000 today. The average American household income is $78,000 a year. That means the standard new truck now costs more than most families earn in 12 months. And that truck, according to Consumer Reports data, will require its first major unplanned repair within 3 years of purchase. The dealership will charge you between $180 and $220 per hour for that repair. And because of software locks built into every post-1996 vehicle, you cannot take that truck anywhere else without the manufacturer's diagnostic system refusing to cooperate. This is not a coincidence. This is a business model. But there is a small group of mechanics, off-grid drivers, and working truck owners who found the exit before the door closed. They stopped chasing the newest model. They went in the opposite direction entirely. They started hunting down the last trucks built in an era when a vehicle was a mechanical tool, not a subscription service with wheels. These trucks are still running, not with restored engines, not with rebuilt transmissions, running on original components, past 300,000 miles, past 400,000 miles, some past 500,000 miles and still pulling loads. Today we are identifying exactly which trucks made it onto that list, not based on opinion, based on documented mileage records, mechanic surveys, and owner data compiled from across the country. 5 trucks that the dealership system cannot touch, cannot lock, and cannot profit from because they were built before the industry figured out how to turn mechanical ownership into a monthly payment. The first thing you need to understand is why modern trucks cannot reach these numbers. It is not because the engineers are less talented. The engineers at Ford and General Motors and Ram are building exactly what they are told to build. And what they are told to build is a truck that generates revenue after the sale. The trucks on this list were built before any of that infrastructure existed. Their engines do not communicate with satellites. Their transmissions do not require software authorization to shift gears. Their window switches are copper contacts completing a simple electrical circuit, not computer nodes awaiting authentication from a central module. When something breaks on these trucks, a mechanic fixes it, not a software technician, a mechanic with tools, in a shop that does not require a manufacturer license to operate. The first truck on this list is the 1979 to 1995 Toyota pickup, specifically the variants equipped with the 22R and 22RE engines. This engine family was produced by Toyota for over 2 decades with minimal architectural changes. That's not laziness. That is the result of an engineering team that got the design right the first time and refused to compromise it for cost-cutting measures. The block's cast iron. The head is designed with wide coolant passages that resist the thermal cracking that destroys aluminum-headed engines at high mileage. The timing chain, not a belt, is engineered to last the life of the engine without replacement under normal maintenance. United Nations procurement records confirm that fleets of these trucks were purchased for deployment in active conflict zones. Mechanics who specialize in pre-OBD vehicles report that a properly maintained 22R engine requires nothing beyond standard oil changes, a timing chain inspection at high mileage, and carburetor cleaning at regular intervals. Total annual maintenance cost documented by multiple independent mechanics averages under $400 per year. A new Ram 1500 averages over $1,700 per year in scheduled maintenance costs alone before any unplanned repairs. The second truck is the 1965 to 1996 Ford F-150, equipped with the 300 cubic inch inline 6 engine. Ford produced this engine for 31 consecutive years. In the context of American automotive history, that production run is nearly without parallel. The engine uses a 7-main bearing crankshaft, which distributes mechanical stress across more contact points than a standard 5-bearing design. This reduces the cyclical loading that causes crankshaft fatigue in high-mileage engines. The fuel system in the carbureted versions has no electronic components whatsoever. There is no mass airflow sensor to fail. There's no oxygen sensor feeding data to a computer. There is no throttle position sensor signaling an electronic control unit. The fuel delivery system operates entirely on atmospheric pressure and mechanical principle. Ford discontinued this engine in 1996. The same year, the federal OBD2 mandate took effect. The engine that required no computer to run was retired the moment computers became legally required. The third truck on this list is the 1973 to 1987 Chevrolet C and K series equipped with the 350 small block V8. General Motors produced the small block Chevrolet engine family from 1955 onward. By the time this generation of C and K trucks was in production, the 350 had been refined through nearly 3 decades of real-world feedback from mechanics, fleet operators, and working truck owners. The result was an engine so thoroughly documented that no failure mode remained undiscovered. Every weak point had been identified, addressed, and cataloged. Replacement parts for this engine are manufactured by over 40 independent suppliers globally. A complete engine rebuild using all new components costs between $1,200 and $2,200 at an independent shop. A single module replacement on a 2024 Silverado at a GM dealership averages over $900, including labor. That is not a comparison of 2 different price points. That is a comparison of 2 different philosophies about who owns the truck after the sale. The fourth truck is the 1992 to 1999 Cummins-powered Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500. This is the only post-1990 vehicle on this list, and its inclusion requires an explanation. The 12-valve Cummins engine installed in these trucks from 1989 through 1998 is a mechanical diesel. It has no electronic fuel injection. It has no computer-controlled injection timing. Fuel delivery is managed entirely by a mechanical injection pump manufactured by Bosch. The pump has one adjustment, a mechanical governor that controls maximum fuel delivery. There is no software. There is no sensor network. There is no OBD port on the earliest versions. Diesel mechanics who specialize in this engine report documented cases of original engines exceeding 1 million miles in commercial work truck applications. Not rebuilt engines? Original engines. The reason is straightforward. Diesel combustion is inherently cleaner for the engine and internals than gasoline combustion. The 12-valve Cummins runs at lower RPM than gasoline engines, under load, reducing mechanical wear per mile. And without electronic management, there is no computer to brick the injection system when a sensor fails. The fifth truck is the 1988 to 1995 Chevrolet C and K 1500 with the throttle body injected 350. This specific production window matters. General Motors used a first-generation electronic fuel injection system on these trucks called throttle body injection. It uses 2 fuel injectors mounted in a single housing above the intake manifold, replacing the carburetor. This system is primitive by modern standards, so primitive that it predates the OBD2 diagnostic standard entirely. The diagnostic connector on these trucks uses the older ALDL protocol, which no modern dealer scanner can fully communicate with. The practical result is that this truck sits in a specific regulatory gap. It has fuel injection reliable enough for daily use at high mileage, but its electronics are too old and too simple for modern surveillance and compliance systems to interface with. Roadside OBD monitoring equipment being deployed across 12 states cannot read this truck's data. Remote emissions testing systems cannot interrogate this truck's computer. On the road today, what these 5 trucks share is not nostalgia. It is not simplicity for its own sake. What they share is mechanical autonomy. The ability of the owner to maintain, repair, and operate the vehicle without seeking authorization from the manufacturer, the dealership, or the government systems those institutions are increasingly using to monitor and control what happens under your hood. The auto industry will tell you that modern trucks are safer, cleaner, and more capable. On certain narrow metrics, that is accurate. But safety ratings measure crash performance, not ownership freedom. Emission scores measure tailpipe output, not the total environmental cost of manufacturing a new vehicle every 8 years because the old one's computer was discontinued. Capability numbers measure towing capacity, not the capacity of the owner to keep the truck running without a corporate intermediary. The mechanics who work on the trucks on this list are not working on antiques. They are working on tools that belong entirely to the people who own them. Every bolt accessible, every system understandable, every repair possible without a laptop, a software subscription, or a dealership appointment that costs $200 before a single wrench is turned. The window to buy these trucks at reasonable prices is narrowing. As the gap between what modern trucks cost and what working people can afford continues to widen, demand for pre-O, BD mechanical trucks has increased every year since 2020. Auction prices for clean examples of the 12-valve Cummins have increased over 60% since 2021. Toyota pickup prices in good condition have nearly doubled in the same period. The people buying these trucks are not collectors. They are not restorers. They are truck owners who did the math and made a decision. The same decision you can still make before the rest of the market catches up. Have you already put high mileage on one of these trucks, or are you still making monthly payments on something that the manufacturer can update, monitor, and lock without your permission? Tell us in the comments what you are driving and what it has cost you to keep it on the road. Because the real maintenance cost comparison between old iron and new metal is being written right now by the people watching this. If you believe a truck you paid for should answer to you and nobody else, subscribe and stay with us. We are not done pulling back the curtain. Stay analog, stay free, and we will see you in the next one.